Hey, what is up? Welcome to this Saturday Night Soul Session live with me, LC. I'm grateful to be here. I've missed 2 weeks. I hope that this is getting out there because I'm sure you lay low for 2 weeks and the algorithms don't pick it up. But I hope that this message tonight reaches you wherever you are at whatever time and space it is necessary for you, because I just wanted to come here tonight and hopefully give a little bit of hope and encouragement as we are going through a lot of big shifts and changes in our personal lives, Mother Nature, in our collective as a whole. There are a lot of big things happening at once, and for the the people that are really dug in and going through it right now, for people that are going through like the what feels like so much at once, but and yet are honoring that and walking through that healing, and saying goodbye to those things that we're being called to leave behind, and walking in the faith of the what is next to come. For all of those people that are there, this video, these are the types of people that I hope this video finds. And because you are really honestly being activated, you are being called to honor your healing and to step through things that are really tough wherever you are in your life. And in honoring that, in becoming the best possible version of yourself, whatever that is at whatever space you're in, because there's no right or wrong. And I don't mean that from a place of what we know of, like the patriarchy, I guess, that being the best is all of this effort. But for those that are just digging in, saying, I'm going through this, I have no choice, and I'm going to go through this and do the inside work that helps me become a better or a more evolved version of myself. And it's a hard time to do this. This is a very hard time because it's not only happening probably within your life, many endings, many new beginnings, possibly, or maybe you haven't even seen the beginning yet, but it's happening in bigger ways, to structures and programs that we have all known and have become very stable for us, are now become they're becoming unstable. And so there's a tendency to have to either fight off fear or give in to fear. And so for those that are honoring that healing, that are stepping through, I just want you to know, I see you. I see you. I see you, and I'm here with you. I want to just please, let's send our prayers and our love and our support out to all of those that are still recovering from the floods that our area in the southeast have experienced in the last 2 weeks, for all those that are experiencing and the destruction that this recent hurricane that came through down in the Florida area, and on up the coast into the mountains of my beautiful state of North Carolina and Tennessee. To all those people, we're sending you so much love and support. And gosh, it's a lot. I mean, these are big energies that are happening to people. Big endings, big new beginnings, and yet it's so hard going through the endings. The endings feel so real. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that are going through divorces that may be a surprise, or you're going through a different level in your relationship. Your relationship's being called to change. Things that were once okay with you aren't okay with you anymore. And so you're digging in with that human and you're working through those things. Or people are losing jobs and finding new jobs, or making decisions to follow their heart and their soul into that entrepreneurial route, of which is never truly stable. I mean, we're going through a lot of big things. And I mean, we don't even have to bring up what's happening with in the US with our government and places all over the world. We're in a global time of change. Even the earth is changing itself right in front of us. Massive storms, things that are popping up early, that there was so little advance notice, even for in our area of North Carolina, the floods that we received 2 weeks ago. There was just eh, there's just so much happening at once. It's happening so fast, and it can be overwhelming. And so I'm not going to take up much of your time tonight because I just want you to honor how brave. And in case nobody has, recognized that in you lately, let me be the one to tell you that, I see you. And I know that what you're going through is super tough. And it's so cliche to say there's something different on the other side of this, but there truly is. And if you can embrace a mindset that says, I know this is not forever. I know that I'm going to make it through this and I'm going to honor these changes that are happening in my life because it's the resistance that causes us the problems. It's the resistance to what is happening, the resistance to what is. You know, it happens in everything in life. I mean, even with denial, we can try to deny what is happening in front of us, but it's really, when it comes down to it, it's the resistance to not just following, your soul's path, what it's asking you to do. Many times we'll be in situations where we feel what we should be doing, and we know what we, ultimately in a perfect world we would do, and yet we stay in that space because it's either comfortable or it holds something special for us, and things just continuously get worse. And a lot of us are at the place where it's gotten worse, like where we've denied those things for so long and now we can't, and it just I don't see a whole lot of positivity coming out in around all of this right now that's not necessarily toxic or like spiritual bypassing stuff, because that's not at all what I would ask and encourage you to do. I encourage you to stay in there and heal it. I encourage you to walk through it. I've been through enough in my life at this point to know that whatever it is, in the words that are so popular with the manifestation and all of that stuff, whatever, you have to understand and realize how that actually works. And for whatever it is that you have had on your mind to manifest or in your heart to manifest, there is a process in which you must go through in order to get there. And a lot of this that's happening now, that's why the saying always goes, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. There is a process that has to be gone through in order to have that manifestation. And it's not so much the superficial manifestations like, I want a new car and all the stuff, the TikTok, the 1 minute stuff, the short stuff. I'm talking about that deeper human that you are longing to be. That version of yourself, that version of your family, that version of your, even all the way down to your job. What is that version of you? Whatever that part is, whatever you've been reaching for in those areas, the processes are, we've got to leave some things behind in order to open up new things. And those things could be all the way down to programmed thoughts. Those things could be all the way down to belief systems and friendships, different. It doesn't always honestly have to be tangible. It can be toxic mind patterns that keep you poor. If you're wanting to be a wealthy individual financially, then there are some things and some patterns that you got to recognize and have to go away in order for you to become that wealthy person, because it's not about just getting a check in the mail and that makes you wealthy. Because if you have a poverty mindset and are given a check for $1 million and cash that check, you're still going to be broke. So these are the processes that get you to the space and have you call you to leave behind that poverty mindset, to leave behind or get in touch with what those belief systems are, what the patterns are, to be able to recognize the patterns and say, "Oh, I see that," versus getting defensive about them when they're brought up. See, getting defensive about something is a very telling sign that our ego is attached to that versus something deeper. So the defensiveness comes up because our ego is still attached to that and it's not ready to let it go. But deep inside, you'll feel if that's one of the things that you have to let go. And if you continuously don't listen to your soul, then something big will come along in your life and it'll just snatch it away. It'll snatch it out. And so there's so many things that could be going on in your life, and I should probably be looking at the comments because I just went straight into this video and I didn't do anything the way I normally do it. But it's just important for me because I'm going through a whole lot in my life, whole lot of changes, reworkings, a whole lot of areas that I need to let go of, a lot of habits that I have to let go of if I want to go into the next phase of my life, if I want to become the entire version of what I foresee for myself, because you set the standard for what the best version of yourself is. And there's also this necessity to be able to shift and change with that as you grow. Because whoever you are aspiring to become, once you become that human, there will be something else to aspire to. That's just humanity. That's the way we're built, and that's the way that we're gonna be, you know? I probably shouldn't say every human on earth is that way, but I mean, that's just the way usually it is. That's why we're never satisfied for very long. I could go so far to say, since this is an addiction recovery based podcast, that's why, you just have to keep going, taking more, 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 and more. We never get to a place where we're satisfied. That's the gift and the curse of being human. And so, I know that it can be scary and feel scary whenever you are presented with those things and situations and everything that we have to say goodbye to. I think the saying goodbye is the hardest part of any big change. The goodbye is because even down to those thought patterns, when you're even just being called to release certain thought patterns in order to move to that next level, those thought patterns, you don't even realize how deep they go. You don't even realize how important they are. You don't even honestly realize until you start becoming aware of all this and have an intention to really heal those things and truly become who it is you're wanting to become. You know, you don't always even realize how deep these things go and how much of a stability that you've built on it. I always use the example of how for so long I felt separated from my version of God, and I got to a place where I named myself an atheist. I don't believe in God, and then it dawned on me a little bit later when some things started trying to, when I had to be called to change and do some things differently, is how much even my non-belief in God at that time, how much of a stability that I had built upon that as who I am or who I was. And so I also realized that in order not to believe in something, you have to believe in it to not believe in it, or it's just a no thing. And so when I was being called into a spiritual path and to get closer with my version of what is God to me and what that higher spirit is to me, when I was really called to go deeper into that, I went through so much grief in letting go of what I knew wasn't necessarily true for me anymore, but I had built such a personality around it. God, I hope that makes sense. I really do. But so we have built our personalities and our personal realities upon these different patterns in our lives. And if you want to learn more about patterns, I did a video a few videos back about toxic patterns and how to recognize them and start to rework them. But it's in truly being willing to open up and see what it is that is keeping us from where it is we want to go, being willing to look at that, or what we want to accomplish, being willing to look at that and honor the healing and the process that it takes in order to get there. And for all of you that are going through these devastations where you've lost everything in your worldly life. That is such a jarring experience, a traumatizing experience all at once. I just hope that you offer the hope that you can make the choice. And I don't mean that it's supposed to be skipping through daisies, and I don't mean that you're supposed to do it right away. But I hope that there is at least a knowing that you can choose to get excited about your next chapter in order for it to bring you hope to keep moving through. Because no matter what, we have to keep moving through. We are part of a collective that is shifting and also changing the world as we are all webbed together as this beautiful race of humanity. Even though we may have lost sight of some of that right now, you are part of, if you're going through these hard changes and these hard times, you are a part of that web that is vital and important in these times to help shift and change where humanity is moving to next. Everything's changing. Mother Earth is changing. We are changing. Much of our divine feminine is coming up and asking to be healed as we are moving into this new time. a- And it is worth it to honor that and move through it with hope and compassion and with love, and to grieve those things and to heal those things and to get the proper support. One of the greatest gifts of my life that could be even happening right now, and this is something I've been asking for a year or two since I worked with Amy Guerrero. Since I worked with her, I have been longing for a new, not necessarily a program, but someone to work with one-on-one like that, to learn from. And I was gifted this beautiful spot in this magical mentoring that is done by Tandy Gutierrez and unicornwellnessstudio.com. And it is calling to the questions. This cycle is to heal the mother wounds, and all of us have a mother wound no matter what, because we all share this one thing in common. What makes us human is that we all are here from a womb space, and if we can remember that we are all human, and at our core we're all searching for the same things, our light can stamp out the exhaustive evil and fear that we've been trapped in for so long. And so you're going through this stuff. Please keep going because you're vital to this movement. Okay, I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to stop now. I told you I'm not going to try to keep you very long. It's very exhausting for me these last few weeks with the natural disasters. I'll ask you to keep my mom in prayer as she goes in next week for her triple bypass surgery. I pray that this too is leading her into her next chapter of life, into that next phase that she's being called to go into. So please understand, people are going through really big things and you're not alone. And so we're going through a lot of shifts and changes in our family, and things are going to change, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. It may not always feel like that every day. It may not seem like that most days, but at the core of me, I'm excited for it because I know that I've been asking for this healing through my family. I've been asking for all of this to really happen, and I have gone through enough now to know that I'm witnessing and I'm in the process of bringing my vision for my family to pass. And so I have to shift, heal, and change with it in order to be able to become the person that can thrive within it. And so I pray the same for all of you. I keep you all close to me. I thank you so much for your support. I want you to go and check out a couple friends of mine as well. My wife moves some stuff around in here, cleaning up, getting rid of some of the old. You might be getting rid of clutter and all of that. Clean your spaces out, please. Clear your spaces out. You can't live a new life if you're holding on to the past. So clear your spaces out. There's some things that you can do. Hydrate your body. Hydrate, 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 hydrate. Keep yourself hydrated. You would be so amazed at how much different you meet your life when you feel better. When you feel terrible, it's so much harder to meet your life, with power and positivity and all the stuff. So keep yourself hydrated during this time. Is we have massive shifts astrologically. Like I've said a million times here, do your best to keep yourself in the most healthy space as possible and get support. So anyway, my wife cleaning out our clutter has moved around my bag, and I can't get to my books right now, but I want you to check out a couple friends of mine. First and foremost, I want to thank you and let you know you can help us keep going and growing by becoming a monthly sponsor at anchor.fm/recovery soul food and click the support button. That is anchor.fm/recovery soul food and click that monthly support button. We've got packages that go from 99 cents. I think they range to $9.99. Just helps the podcast keep going to pay monthly fees for different things that I get to do here. And I thank all of you that are already doing that. And I want to start trying to do something special for you, this coming up season of Recovery Soul Food. Because this is just the practice run. I got a season like no other coming for you soon. Hopefully, we're going to premiere that in October. Kind of depends on life. But anyway, you can do that. And I appreciate you. You can follow us in all the places on Instagram at recovery_soul food, on TikTok at recovery soul food. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Trying to grow the YouTube channel still. We are at 254 subscribers. I want to thank all the new subscribers, all my OGs that have been there from the start, that have helped me so much. I appreciate you. Wherever you're watching, we are live on 2, 4, 6 platforms right now. If you're on Facebook, I want to thank you for doing all the stuff over there, the share and the follow, all the stuff. I really appreciate you all. Thanks for letting me honor my body and the things that, I needed to give my attention and energy to, and my family these past 2 weeks, for showing up here and doing all that. If you are interested as well in working with Tandy or seeing what Unicorn Wellness Studio is about, you can go to unicornwellnessstudio.com. You can also check her out at the Magic Spark podcast, and you can find that on iTunes, Spotify, and more. She has just dropped the October reading over there. She is just an amazing soul. I am so honored to be working with her, and I urge you, if you are looking for a mind, body, and spirit collective experience, or even a one-on-one experience, then please hit Tandy up. You can also follow her on Instagram at Tandy Gutierrez. I'll have that next week because I love her so much. And so take care of yourself and do that. That's great. All right, you can pick up my good friend and my soul sister's book, I Didn't Come This Far to Only Come This Far. One of the great inspirational stories, motivational stories of all time in my reading history. I love her so much. She is a beautiful part of our community here, and her YouTube channel is kicking, guys. She is putting up some amazing content, lots of meditations, lots of stuff. So make sure that you also go once you buy her book at amazon.com/Pamela Topgen, then run on over to YouTube and do that again at Pamela Topgen. I promise you'll be so happy that you did. She is amazing. And she also has another book, Behind the Mask, Gloves, and Scrubs, One Nurse's Journey. She's a beautiful, beautiful human, and I appreciate her. So check all that out. My big resource this year is my little pocket-sized version of the Tao Te Ching with Martin John Garcia's inspiration on this. He's published this book, and you can pick it up at martinjohn.com. It's an amazing, beautiful resource. I like to use it as a devotional. It's got all 81 verses of the Tao Te Ching with Martin's wisdom and experience mixed in with it, and his love, and it's a must-have. All right. Let's see who's next. Maddie Jablonski from The Point of Change has his amazing little poetry book. I love how it's just inspiring. I just love how artistic it is. He's written his story in an amazing little book called Poetry of Change in poem form, and I'm so proud of him. You can pick that up as well on amazon.com/poetry of change. This is my Sober last summer. Sober is the new cool t-shirt, and gear. You can pick that up at soberistheNewCool.ca. And last, I want to give a shout out to a guy who you're going to see his interview coming up in season 6 of Recovery Soul Food Podcast. His name is Patrick Allen Jones, and he has a program called Heal Your Addiction. And I want you to go check him out, especially if you are a man, if you identify as masculine. Go and check out healyouraddiction.com. Go to the roots of the addiction. So aligned with this guy's purpose, so aligned with his platform. He's a wonderful guy. And he also has offered this amazing discount if you tell them Recovery Soul Food Gate sent you. So, if you want to go check his program out and you want to work with his program, you want to up level, then make sure you let him know and get that discount. There was this one book that I've been turned on to by my good friend and sister, Pamela Topjian, called Soulbriety. Now, I'm going to work my hardest to get Alyssa Hallerman, PhD, on the show for this season because I have never read a recovery book that I have more aligned with probably in my entire recovery career, if that's such a thing. But it's called Soulbriety, and it is just amazing. I'm positive you can pick it up on Amazon, but I know for a fact because I'm listening to it that it is available on uh why can't I think of the name? The audiobooks. You know what I mean. Uh I can't even think of the name of it. Somebody will have to think of the name. Audible. There it is. But it's by Elisa Hallerman, and I'm going to write it in right now and put it on this banner, and I want you guys to check that out because it is amazing. If you know that you are called to be on not only a sobriety journey or a recovery journey and a deep soul healing journey, you want true freedom from your addiction, not just counting days and looking over your shoulder for relapse, but you want real, true, down to the gut, to the root healing. Check out this book. It's called Soulbriety by Elisa Hallerman, and it's amazing. All right, y'all. Well, y'all get on back to your Saturday night. Love your families and take in all my love and support. Keep going and growing. You're doing an amazing job. You're a badass. Your bravery humbles me. And I just want you to know that I love you and I see you and you're doing big things. So keep going. I love you guys. Until next week, hopefully I'll get to be here. Thank you for your love and support and your prayers, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.